Hey guys, welcome back to Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft. What I have for you today is a look at the 10 C's of survivability military issues. So these are going to be items that fit the category of the 10 C's generally, and they're issued items or items that can be easily found by any service member military. Okay, so these are the items that if a military member wants to put a quick military 10 C's kit together, this is components for that kit, or if you're interested to understand or see an example of what a military 10 C's kit looks like, this would be it. These are the items, like I said, general issue or easily found during duty that service members can put together. Okay, so let's go over the first one, which is going to be a cutting tool. Now, I have my cutting tool right here. This is just a Gerber multi-tool, and this is going to be the cutting item. The reason this is the cutting item, obviously very multifunctional, but it's got a couple of blades on it, and this is generally issued now to service members at the Central Issue Facility that they can use as a cutting device, the one that's most easily found anyway. So you got all your bottle openers, screwdrivers, file, serrated blade, straight blade, bottle opener, Phillips head. You've got measurement centimeters, measurement inches, and then you've got obviously your pliers with your wire cutters right there. But this is generally issued now to service members, and I think I got this when I signed into my new unit, but I think I've got like 7 or 8 of these now. And good investment for the general practitioner or general item for use during every day, especially for those high density MOSs like infantry and combat arms for guys to use that they don't have to go out and purchase for themselves. Okay, but everybody's got one nowadays, I think. So that's going to be our cutting item. Next is going to be our combustion. Now I've got 2 items that I've included in this. I've got a small book of matches here, and then a ferro rod. Now typically you're not going to find any combustion items that are generally issued. Okay, so unless the soldier goes out and buys a ferro rod, buys a lighter, buys matches, they're not really going to have anything that's issued. But you can't get those crappy MREs matches, the crappy matches in the MREs. Every MRE is crappy mostly, but it's just years and years of eating them. But you'll find those matches in there, which is really the only combustion device. Now, specialized training like Ranger School, SEER training, I was issued a ferro rod for some of that training. In Ranger School I was issued trioxane tablets because I was a winter ranger, which is the only real ranger there is, and went during the winter phase, so we had those emergency fire starters for the purposes of heating up water and food. But we have our ferro rod here that I was issued during survival training at SEER, and the one I had, hundreds of students had used already, was eroded and worn down to the nub practically, so I'm glad I brought my own. And then I had these emergency matches. We had matches actually issued as emergency items for the purposes of starting fire in survival training, but they were only for emergency, and that was it. You couldn't use them for regular fire starting. There you go. All right, and these are both, I think, the Indoor brand, and you can see this one wants to go out on me kind of, but it's working. All right, so these are the fire items, okay? Matches and a ferro rod, but every good soldier should have a lighter on them, okay? Next, let's go over cordage. 550 cord is going to be that cordage, all right? 550 cord is ubiquitous in the military. You can find it anywhere. Plus, I've talked about this ad infinitum, ad nauseum in my videos. So cordage is going to be 550 cord for that 3rd C, okay? Now, 4th C is going to be that container. Now we've got the standard issue MRE, or standard issue canteen and canteen cup. Now this is an Nalgene canteen that I purchased. You'll get the OD green one when Central Issue gives you your stuff, typically, and a Camelback and maybe a 2-quart canteen or 2. But this is basically the items that any soldier can find or get for the purposes of carrying water. Now you got your canteen for 1-quart canteen. You've got probably the best survival item right here the military ever issued was a canteen cup. This guy and I, as you guys can see, we've been through a lot together. We're practically blood relatives by now. And this guy, I think, have taken to Ranger School, Airborne School, Air Assault, Expert Infantryman Badge Training, SEER School, taking it everywhere. I probably drank coffee out of this when I was a commander, you know, standing watching everybody during training. Then I've got my canteen pouch right here where I keep my iodine tablets for the purposes of purifying water. Not general issue usually, but you can get that. But these are going to be the items that are easily found for this kit for the purposes of a container, okay? Now, cover. The easiest one to get, the easiest one you're going to find is going to be this poncho. Obviously, poncho does a million things, from creating shelter to keeping you dry from the rain. You can use it for gathering, you know, debris. You can use it for a shelter flap. You can use it, you know, I've seen guys use these as hammocks, okay? But this is going to be the main cover item. Another item, obviously near and dear to every soldier's heart, is going to be that whoopee, or that poncho liner. Probably the best made invention ever in the history of man is the whoopee poncho liner, okay? Use that to stay warm. And then one thing I did want to include on this kit that's usually found in the 10Cs, or at least some of the versions of the 10Cs, especially at the Pathfinder School or wherever, is going to be that thermal blanket. This is the easiest one to find for commercially bought items, but you can get this out of a medical kit typically now because of our TCCC classes, which have replaced combat lifesaver training. The TCCC, or Tactical Combat Casualty Care, is newly taught, revised medical training for most, if not all, service members. And one of the items that's in there is a thermal blanket for the purposes of preventing the body temperature from dropping below a certain level, and to keep it higher, because obviously once a casualty loses that body temperature and hypothermia, the chances of bringing them back from a hypothermic state are very slim, and so you want to keep that casualty warm. But you can find this in medical kits, which is why I kept it in there as part of the first 5 Cs, or the hardest to recreate items for the 10Cs, and as part of the 10C kit military issue. So those are first 5 items, okay? Now let's go over the last 5 items. So number 6 is going to be a compass. This is a lensatic compass that I think every military individual has been issued at some point in their career, or if not, they have, you know, like 3 or 4 of these that just fell in with their gear that now belong to them, like I do. But lensatic compass that has mils and degrees, has a bezel ring, sighting mirror, sighting sight, a sighting wire here for cheek hold method, and then you've got your center hold method here. You've got a measurement bar right here. And I got my 550 cord for a tie down, but this is going to be my compass device, okay? So, compass. Next, let's talk about candling devices. Now, this has since replaced that big L-shaped candling device that you guys may have seen out there, seen in movies and stuff, but you guys can see here, I have my white lens. It's got a red lens, if you guys can see that. It's got a white lens again, blue lens, and then it has an IR function in here as well. But this is the light that's replaced that big L-shaped light that you typically get at central issue or your unit. And so this is what I'm going to use as my candling device, okay? That's issued. You can't go out and buy headlamps and stuff, but remember, this is stuff that's found or issued to service members. Next, let's talk about cargo tape. Cargo tape, we got 100-mile-an-hour tape, similar to Gorilla Tape. If you're in an airborne unit, this is going to be ubiquitous. You can find this everywhere, same as the 550 cord, but 100-mile-an-hour tape is going to be my cargo tape, which you can find just about in any unit for the purposes of protecting or, you know, constructing whatever it is. Okay, so this is going to be cargo tape. Next, we have our cotton, and we've got just a Army cravat. Again, something you can find in a medical kit. The Army cravat is just a 100% cotton, triangle-shaped piece of bandage that can be used for a variety of things. Everything a bandana can be used for, this could be used for. From medical to water to shelter to food to camouflage, whatever it is, you can use this for it, okay? So it's going to be our cotton item in the 10Cs. That was number 9. And last, being number 10, is going to be that sail needle, or that canvas needle. We don't have needles generally issued in the military, so one thing that can be found readily available that you may have to pick up at your base exchange is that sewing kit to get a needle out of it. I know I've got like 17 sewing kits, sitting in my gear back home. But this is going to be the 10th and final item for the 10 Cs for the purposes of creating that kit. Military issued is going to be a sewing kit for the purposes of that needle and repair, okay? Alright guys, so that completes a look at the 10 C's of survivability for a military issued or easily acquired kit for military personnel, or what you could find in the military anyway. Now, I hope you guys appreciate that video. I hope you like that video. Leave a comment in the comment section. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Okay, I appreciate everything you do for me and for the channel. I appreciate your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares. And I'll be back with another video just as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.